I knew the date was going to be strange when he brought a notebook to the restaurant. Hi, I'm Samantha, I'm 27, and I'm going to tell you about the date that turned into an assessment. My best mate Jessica and I had been scrolling through the profiles, dodging the sausage factory and avoiding anyone who asks if size matters. I thought I had finally found a decent, genuine guy. His name was Marcus, he was 32, and he was gorgeous. He asked me out for a meal on a Friday night. Friday morning, I was feeling so nervous. Jessica came over with a few of her dresses, and I chose this gorgeous blue one. I think she brought it over specifically because it reminded her of her own disaster date with Mr. Protein Shake, which was hilarious. She reminded me that if in doubt, call her and she'll be there. I arrived a little early at the restaurant and got seated at our table. Just to be safe, I grabbed a napkin, scribbled down Jessica's number, and slipped it to our waiter. I told him, "If I give you the signal, please text my friend." 5 minutes later, Marcus arrives. He actually looks like his photo, so that's a great start. But then I look at his hands. He is holding a small notebook. At first, I thought maybe he just came from work, but about 10 minutes into the date, he opened it, and he started writing things down. I didn't mention it because I just thought he was possibly jotting down work ideas. Why would I possibly think differently? The waiter came over with a massive wine list. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't like wine. I politely say, "Sorry, I'm more of a spirits girl myself. Malibu and pineapple juice would be lovely, and make it a double." Marcus looked at me like I had just embarrassed him. The waiter quickly pointed out they do cocktails, and that a Pina Colada is very refreshing. Marcus just grunts and orders a bottle of red wine. Then, he starts writing in his notebook again. This time, I had to ask him what he was doing. He looked at me, completely seriously, and said, "I'm just rating the date so far." And get this. It apparently had categories: conversation, chemistry, humour. He then looked at me and said he would take me through my scores at the end of the date. Like that was a completely normal requirement of a first encounter. When the waiter arrived with the drinks and asked if we were ready to order, Marcus was watching me like whatever I chose was going to be given a score out of 10. And me being me, I thought, screw it. He has clearly made up his mind about me anyway. I caught the waiter's eye, gave him a little nod, and then ordered the half-pounder cheeseburger and a side of garlic bread. The look on Marcus's face was priceless. It was like he could vividly picture me making a mess and eating with my hands, because, well, that's how a burger should be eaten. He ordered a side of scallops and something I couldn't pronounce if I tried. When they brought the food over, I thanked the waiter, picked the burger up with both hands, and took a great big bite. Marcus looked disgusted. He was furiously writing in his notebook. I took another bite, practically shoved the burger in his direction, and asked if he wanted some. I was just being nice. What he had on his plate looked vile. But as I did, a glob of ketchup landed right on his sleeve. He started frantically wiping it with a napkin. He looked so ridiculous that I couldn't hold my laugh in, and I ended up spraying my cocktail right out of my nose. As I was coughing, I accidentally knocked his wine glass straight into his lap. The waiter came running over, but instead of being mad, he leaned in and whispered that he had texted the number, and Jessica was waiting outside in her car with fresh burgers to go and 2 slices of chocolate cake. While Marcus was distracted trying to dry his trousers, I grabbed his notebook, tore out the page, plus a couple more just in case, stuffed them in my bag, and ran out the door. I didn't even look back. When we got back to Jessica's house, we munched on our burgers, and I finally unfolded the pieces of paper. And let me tell you, his scores kept going lower and lower and lower. Instant block. If you've ever been graded on a night out, hit subscribe and drop your worst dating horror story in the comments. Make sure you turn on notifications because next time, Jade is sharing her story. And trust me, You definitely don't want to miss it.